afternoon, South Africa, and a very warm welcome to you. Happy Hump Day. This is Afternoon Express. My name is Jeannie D.
Welcome, I'm Bonnie Mbuli. Today's show is all about parenting. We speak about a variety of topics related to parenting, time management, and just generally being a mom. And we chat to parenting coach Laura Markowitz about managing our time.
Now, parenting aside, there's also dressing, and you look incredible. Yesterday, actually, somebody said to us, do you guys even own winter clothes? Yes. It is so boiling warm in this loft all the time. So, no, I don't do winter. I'm in denial. I'm in full summer mode 24 hours and 365 days a year. If you want to know exactly what we're wearing and details about our wardrobe, all you need to do is visit our Facebook page and, of course, our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Now, today, of course, we are focusing on the kids, and we have the kitchen vixen, Bianca Plessis, here to tell us how to pack the perfect lunchbox.
Something I'm still struggling with.
Oh, gee, I don't even pack my own lunchbox for work. I still wish my mother would do that for me. And then we've got author and pediatric dietitian Kath McGaw here, who's going to tell us all about keeping baby hydrated.
Yeah, and of course, for Winner Home on Afternoon Express today, we pop over to Val de Vie to check out how our design contestants are coming along with their bathrooms. And we take a look at a very breathtaking property in Durbanville. That should be fun.
So all babies and properties today. I could almost get quite broody.
I know.
Thank goodness we've got dinner in the kitchen to fill that void.
Oh, ladies, good to have you with us. South Africa, welcome to it. My name is Danilo Acquisto. And one of my favorite parts of being on the show is being in this kitchen here, making super delicious treats every single day. And today, Anders back from Woolies. Good to have you.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a while, but yeah, glad to be back.
I hope it's been a while because you've been preparing this amazing dish. Because it's what I want to be, Italian and rich.
For sure,
basically.
for sure.
What are we making?
Italian. So today we're doing a classic, traditional Italian meal, which is porchetta.
Porchetta.
Porchetta or porchetta. I'm not Italian, so you tell me.
Porchetta.
But traditionally the meal is made with a whole pork, which is usually stuffed, rolled and cooked. Today we'll be doing it with a bit of a twist. We'll take a pork loin, season it up nicely, cook it on the grill, wrap it in bacon, finish it off in the oven, and you'll taste it later. Yeah.
It sounds so amazing. So even though we're speaking about packing lunch boxes, make sure that this is in your repertoire somewhere, because the kids can have their healthy lunches. We're going to indulge today on Afternoon Express, just you and I. Make sure you go and find the recipe and the shopping list on our website. It's afternoonexpress.co.za. So while I get things started here in the kitchen, Jeannie and Bonnie are on the couch.
Thanks, Danilo, my little child. Now, being a mother and having to work is one of the toughest challenges a woman can face. As a mom, you want to spend every moment you have seeing your child grow and be a part of their development. But many women contribute to the household by working full-time or are often single moms supporting the family on their own. So here today to help moms with this challenge is parent coach and blogger Laura Markowitz from coachparents.co.za. Welcome. How are you?
Hi, thank you. Good
Lovely to have you here
Yes.
again.
This is a topic that I can never get enough of. Now, first off, let's talk about the feeling that all moms experience, working moms, guilt. How much guilt is healthy guilt? And when do you know that it's getting out of hand?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it's a good question, because guilt is a pervasive emotion that I think affects a lot of us. And the reality is that it can often be a difficult emotion to manage. Yeah. And the important thing is how we manage that guilt. So I think what can help us manage the guilt is sometimes looking at what's causing the guilt. What is that all about? And I think one of the big things that strikes most of us working moms is comparisons, comparing us to different moms. And who are we comparing ourselves to? You know, are we comparing ourselves to the moms who are staying at home all the time? Are we comparing ourselves to our own moms?
Yeah.
They're different comparisons, and with that comes a whole lot of judgment, perceived and real judgment.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful to try and manage that and start making our own stories about how we want to be a mom in our family.
Yeah.
So taking a step back, getting a bit of perspective and going, what values do I want to be instilling in my family? And trying to drown out a lot of that judgment noise that's out there.
Yeah.
And I think, what feeds into that judgment stuff is this notion that I think a lot of moms are trying to strive towards, which is trying to be the perfect mom.
Superwoman.
And there's no such thing. I think we all know that, and yet we try and strive towards it. And I think it's quite helpful to know that what we should be striving towards is being the good enough mom. Yeah. And that's actually, it's a psychological concept that is used that the psychoanalyst Winnicott coined. And it's about being good enough. And that means being a real mom,
Yeah.
making mistakes, managing things. And then also looking at our roles and saying, well, how am I positively contributing? So shifting our perspective, not necessarily saying this is all bad, this is all guilt-infused, but I'm contributing to the financial health and well-being of my family. And I'm providing a really good role model as a strong woman in my child's life.
It is so difficult though, because I must be honest, it's been a thing for me to it's been a decision to maybe not have children earlier on in life, because I thought, I can't have a child and then hand the child over to go and work, and I'm very career focused. And then seeing Bonnie juggle 2 children and an amazing career, you definitely have shown me that it's so doable.
Yeah, I mean, of course it's doable, but then I'm always questioning, how do I keep communicating to my kids what I can manage and what I can't manage without creating like these unrealistic expectations? Because children are quite resilient and they're quite forgiving. And how do I give myself that margin?
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, how we communicate to our children is key. You know, when your son is coming home and saying, well, John's mom is there every day to fetch him, and doing the comparison stuff that I was talking about. And I think what's helpful with that is to be open and honest. And it's, you know, what I alluded to earlier, it's about making our own story. So it's about saying, yes, I know it can be very disappointing that I'm not there. So to not diminish your own child's experience of feeling, I want you to be there, to acknowledge it, to name it, to say, I can see this is hard, I can see it's difficult, I'm here for you. If I'm not going to be able to be available for something at school, and unfortunately schools are sometimes not that aware of working moms and sometimes schedule things that are very hard for us to get to. So we've got to work around those sorts of things. And so it's acknowledging, I can't be there. Let's find a way to, when I get back, remember everything that happened. Remember it, take a picture in your head so that you can tell me as soon as you get home, and we can have real quality time that we spend talking about what I potentially missed.
So, and you know, another thing working moms experience is a feeling of loss of control. I mean, anyone without kids even can feel like that, but it's exacerbated when you do have children. How do we manage that feeling of like, and having a caregiver and being able to communicate with that caregiver what your needs are and what's the best way or most effective way of doing it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, talking to, when we hand over our children to somebody else, it's a big decision.
I'm a social media addict, and it freaks me out on Facebook seeing these children who are getting abused or something happens to them. Today I saw a child had water poured all over a little 12-month-old baby by the caregiver, and the mother saw the story that went viral on Facebook and then freaked out because it was the caregiver that was basically abusing her child. I mean,
so there are extreme stories that happen, and of course there are horrific things that happen. On the whole, what we want to try and do is develop a trusting relationship with the person who's going to take care of our children. So that means doing a bit of research. That means checking out where you're going to be sending your children to school. That means developing a relationship with the caregiver who's going to be with your child. And I think something really important is about communicating expectations. So, you know, it's exactly what you've said, Bonnie. We can't control everything, but we can communicate. And what often happens with parents who are not around all the time is there's the potential to build up bitterness and resentment because things aren't being done in the way that they would like to do it. The reality is nobody's perfect to take care of our children. You know, they're not us. So that's very hard for us to juggle that. And it's really useful and important to communicate with your child's caregiver about how you'd like things to be done, and then also to listen to them, to be open to listen to them, saying we might do things a little bit differently and my child might be exposed to different things. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's about being exposed to difference and diversity.
And that can be good. It can be positive for children.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be such a good mother after all of this advice.
And remember, if you have a voice as well. So answer our social media question. Today we're asking, how has a nanny affected you and your family's lives? Were you raised by one? Tell us your story, please. Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express. Comment on our Facebook page or call us live on 0839133728. After the break, we chat to the kitchen vixen, Bianca Plessis, about the foods to pack in your children's lunchbox, and we get started on our dinner, a porchetta roast. We'll be right back.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. So we're in your favorite place to be in the afternoon, which is in the kitchen with us as we prepare something super delicious. And there's our chef here from Woolies. And today, it should actually be called something else today. Today shouldn't be Wednesday because it's Wednesday's hump day. It should be rump day, but we're going fillet.
For sure. So let's get it started today. So I did tell you we've got a little bit of a twist today because Porchetta originally, I mean, we'd have to use a whole pig.
Yes.
But today we'll just use the fillet, which is quite an affordable cut of pork as well.
Now, for those who are ashamed of themselves and only just tuned into the show right now, what exactly are we making with the porchetta?
So we're making a porchetta. What we're going to do is we're going to season this pork fillet lovely, wrap it in bacon, finish it off in the oven, and then we'll come back and see what it looks
I
like.
heard bacon. It sounds like a success.
So maybe in the meanwhile, you could just add all the garlic inside there, a generous sprinkle of the fennel seeds, while I just season this.
Okay, I'm actually a bit nervous when I have chefs come in here and tell me generous sprinkles because with Clem in the loft, you never really know what's generous and what's not.
generous,
So
yeah.
say when?
Yeah, that's enough.
Oh,
the thing is,
that's
pork,
generous?
Pork really loves fennel, so you could actually be generous there as well. So what I'm going to do in the dish here, which is what the pork will be sitting in, just put some rosemary inside there so it can actually just sit on top of that bed of rosemary.
Okay.
You can add some olive oil in there as well just to get that marinade going lovely. Some of the rosemary as well, I'm just going to be adding into the bacon. So I'll just...
So in some ways, I'm creating a sort of rub here.
That's correct. You could add more oil, don't be shy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Olive oil is lovely, especially when it's
I
extra
like
virgin like that.
instruction.
Yeah.
So this is
Cool,
enough to
that's
cover the
enough,
whole
yeah,
meat, I'd
that's
assume.
enough.
Hey? Okay, there we go. Oh, this is already smelling so fragrant.
Let's add some of this in there, some rosemary.
Delicious.
Cool.
Nice. I like the way you're going with this. You've got almost the fresh rosemary and the rosemary sitting underneath the meat itself. Plus, you're going to be creating a slight rub of it to get it into the meat.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
So now I'm going to get the bacon ready and just, let's maybe put the pork here for now, get a few bacon.
And obviously using a fillet, is that the recommended piece of meat you're using?
It's the recommended. I mean, it's a very cheap cut actually when it comes to pork fillet, but if you were looking at a beef fillet, very expensive. So
Okay,
this is a very affordable cut.
Okay, cool. I like the fact that you're keeping it in the family, so it's like pork with pork. I like that.
So you can see now I'm going to be laying the bacon, which we're actually going to be wrapping the fillet in. Which you can see.
Okay, so I see. So you can actually put the meat on top of the thing with the rosemary.
That's correct. So with this, I'm just actually going to rub it. So I don't know if you just want to just
Drizzle it over.
drizzle some over here.
The messier we
Cool,
can
that's
get.
enough,
the
that's
better.
enough.
Oh, whoops. Okay. I get excited. Sorry.
No problem.
Oh, yummy.
So I'm
That
just going to
looks
put this
so
here
good.
on this, actually back in here, and just lay a bit more bacon. So it is very messy, but you'll see it's very delicious there as well.
So it's a perfect weekend dish. It's one of those dishes Dad has to make at home because it's got all of the elements of hands, getting into things,
That's
messing
correct.
it up, getting all those flavors in there. It's filled with lots of flavor.
and this on the fire would be amazing on the brine.
Yes.
So there we go. So now I'll just do that.
Cool. You're going to wrap it in the bacon.
As you can see, I won't wrap the whole fillet just because of time constraints today.
Cool.
So there we go, just like that.
You lay it on the rosemary, and then
Yeah.
what happens next?
And then all I'm going to do now is just actually slice the garlic, just slice it in half like that.
Oh, yes. And everyone's so afraid of garlic, but when you do it like this, first of all, the way that it cooks inside some of these fillets, the flavors that come out of it are amazing. It's almost got like a sweet fragrance to it.
That's
which
correct.
adds
So I'll just actually sprinkle some of this even.
on top.
over there now.
Yes. Get in there, Under. Get in there.
And you can see all you have to do now is literally just put it in the oven, couple of minutes, and yeah, it will be ready as it comes out. And very quickly as well. We'll cook very, very quickly.
Amazing. So we'll show you the rest of the steps a little bit later on, right on Afternoon Express. You can get the recipe and the shopping list from our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. So now I know what's going to be in my lunchbox going to school tomorrow. The girls are talking about healthy lunchboxes for kids, though.
So we've got some great advice for working moms today, and because time is always an issue, especially in the mornings when everyone has to be ready for work and school, there isn't much time to prepare and pack lunches. The difficult part is to make sure that they're still healthy, and even if you can't spend much time on them. With us is food writer and working mom Bianca du Plessis, known for her food blog, kitchenvixen.co.za. Welcome.
Thank you very
Lovely
much.
to have you with us.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah.
Bonnie is very excited
I'm
about this
so
topic
excited.
of conversation.
I think
she's literally
yeah.
beside herself.
I think all moms are, because we all get to a point where we feel what we do is boring.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as a perfect lunchbox. Let's
Yeah.
start with that. It depends on how long your child is out of the home. Do you have to pack cold and hot meals? Then it really becomes a huge effort. At the moment, fortunately, my child is just in creche until 1 o'clock. So this is basically And I do think lunchboxes...
I love that lunchbox,
I
first of
know.
all.
This is the best investment I've ever made because
I was one of those kids at school that envied the kids that came with their lunchboxes like that because I was the tuck shop child.
I mean, look how
I
fabulous
hate
you
the
look
tuck
today.
shop. Okay.
So normally, basically, what I would give him is this that I have here. What I love about this lunchbox the most is that you've got
Where's
this little
this
container.
lunchbox from?
I can't. I'll tell you later. I'll put it on my blog. Is basically you've got this little container. So if you want to cut down on expenses, I think lunchboxes have become in more affluent areas quite status symbols, and there are a lot of pre-packaged, very fancy things that you can put in. First, there's so much lying ahead for you to learn. But there's a lot of packaging that goes to waste, and one I think has to try. You've got to try and keep things as raw and real and basic as possible to be nutritious. So what I love about this is that I would either put in a little bit of biltong, so you save money by buying bulk and then just portioning it yourself. Or, for example, if I run out of the really nice little yogurts that I give him every day, then I just put some Bulgarian yogurt with a bit of honey in there, which he also loves.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind the packaging change at all, yeah. But basically, my problem was that I felt I cooked my son a really nice, fresh meal every evening. And I started worrying about what I was putting in his lunchbox. So I started reading the packaging of absolutely everything that went into his basic lunchbox. And it freaked me out completely because of all the preservatives and things.
And it's stuff we think is healthy because it appears healthy.
Yeah, I think that is unfortunately one of the big things that we as parents have to watch out for. And we've got to educate ourselves. And I think a lot of people only really start... We eat healthily for kind of... not vanity reasons or for health reasons, but once you have a child and you're growing a little body, then you start looking at nutrition differently. And sweet. So the thing is that...
because it's half your parenting.
Yes.
I mean, the food they eat influences their behaviour.
Well, it influences their behaviour, their health. If they're sick all the time, as a working mum, you know it's incredibly stressful, it's expensive, and it's just something that you can avoid to a large extent. There are a few things about food, about our food culture, that I think I wish... basically, we the consumers dictate how much preservatives and colorants and stuff goes into our food because of our needs and what we like. For example, cheese is made of milk, which is white. So cheese should never really be this color.
No, like that scares me.
Yes,
Well, scares me.
for example... yogurt, which is something that I love yogurt, and I think it's something that I want my child to eat. Fortunately, he doesn't have any intolerances. And the difference between, I must say...
that yogurt's really good because it's the Asha milk. Yeah, that's really good.
Oh, yes. Well,
And then it gets
Asha
tougher.
milk.
It gets tougher when you have a child who's lactose intolerant, like mine. And yogurt and cheese are like out of the
lactose,
question.
nuts, whatever.
And, everything.
It becomes very tricky. Fortunately, my child eats everything.
Lucky.
Just about, lucky. But, I mean, if you look at the difference in colour, there are a few rules of thumb that I think parents should be aware of to try and keep the food that they give their kids as clean as possible. The colours should be natural. If something has a very long shelf life, it obviously has more preservatives in it. I mean, it's basic stuff that we just disregard for convenience sake.
Yeah, but also healthy food is more expensive. Like, that must be quite costly if you're taking organic and healthy all the time. What money-saving tips do you have for us when packing the healthiest lunchbox for your child?
To me, the biggest saving is to buy... rather buy good produce like good nuts or biltong druivoors. They're expensive, but they're actually, if you buy especially venison, then you know that there are no hormones, nothing in there. It's really, really clean. Buy bulk and portion it yourself. Don't buy all these little packets and things.
Yeah, I'm guilty of the packets because it's so convenient.
It's just convenient.
Yeah, and they think it's special because it's a packet and they're opening it up. And
These babies are magic.
I'm, for example, not a rice cake fan. To me, it's something a woman eats when she doesn't want to pick up weight and she wants to crunch her teeth without. But to nourish a child, for example, I would rather give a Provita or...
So you wouldn't do rice cake?
Well, I'm not. No, rice cakes at the various phases, like when they're teething, little maize or rice cakes are good and so forth. But for me, I've got a very energetic 3.5-year-old. He eats a lot. He takes after his mom. So I have to.
You know what my tip is?
Salty.
Cheese melted on a rice cake. You stick it in the microwave, and it's
The diet is cheese.
So delicious.
I see you've got. Is this rooibos that you've got here? So would you advise that we make like iced tea and then
you know what?
Put it in a
the lovely food stylist
sippy cup versus a box
here in the
juice.
studio made this. I would love to say that I make my child's own iced tea, but I don't. But another
that's supermom goals. I'm going there. I'm headed there.
Don't push yourself too hard. Another good tip is to buy a really good quality a rooibos fruit juice mix and just decaf decant it into a sippy cup, and always give your child a bottle of
Apparently
water.
those have a lot of sugar though.
They do, but I give my son like a half a bottle, and then then that's tough. Then it's finished. Then he's got his whole bottle of water to drink for the rest of the day.
Well,
And
my
then he does
godchildren are
complain.
always dilute juice. Doesn't matter what kind of
Yeah.
juices. I'll give them half juice and then half water always, just because I can't
that's
handle
why
hyperactive.
An iced tea or exactly. An iced tea and or a juice iced tea mix is a better option, because to me it's not about being the perfect mom or doing
Good
the
enough,
perfect
Mom.
lunchbox.
We're doing
It's
good
just
enough,
doing the
Mom.
best that you can. He does now eat home-baked bread, which I think is not by myself. I must have got an absolute angel of a lady that bakes 2 loaves.
You
of
don't
home-
bake your own bread.
No, I also don't make my own bacon. But for example, just to give you another example of how, I don't know, it's chicken and egg, whether we the consumers were taught that we wanted our bread this white, when in actual fact, this is what white bread looks like. When it's made with unbleached stone ground white flour, this is normal flour. It looks like a light rye bread. So I think as far as my contribution to being a supermom, this is it basically. I'm not giving him store-bought bread. And he's quite happy. He doesn't know the difference. He doesn't really care at this stage. I've got quite an easy eater.
Thank you so much for coming through. You certainly are the kitchen vixen. I can't wait to check out your blog, and you should too. Now, earlier we were talking about how you need to build a trusting relationship with the caregiver of your child, and we'll be getting back to that a little bit later on. So, answer our question for the day. How has a nanny affected you and your family's lives? Were you raised by one? I certainly was. And tell us your story. Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express. Comment on our Facebook page or call us live on 083 913 3728. After the break, we're back in the kitchen to finish off that gorgeous Porchetta roast, and we're joined by author and pediatric dietitian Kath McGaw to chat about keeping our babies hydrated. We'll be right back.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're going Italian in the kitchen today with Anda from Woolies. We're making a porchetta roast with us. And I've always wondered that if my gran called me a porchetta, I'd be very upset with her, because I think she was trying to sneakily tell me that I'm a bit of a porky. But we're turning that into a delicious dish today on Afternoon Express, and I can't wait to cook with you, dude. So our porchetta officially has come out the oven.
That's come out the oven, yes. I told you it does cook very quickly in the oven, about 10 to 15 minutes, yes. But you could also monitor that. No more than 20 minutes in the oven, yes.
Dude, sounds like my kind of dish.
But I think let's get started to what we're actually going to be serving with the porchetta. So we've got asparagus here, asparagus tips, lovely. And all we're going to do is just char grill them and serve them with our porchetta.
Oh, yummy.
So once again, generous olive oil, some salt.
Just to season them up nicely. Why have you chosen something like asparagus? Is that like a winter trend?
No, look, I
in
mean,
the kitchen?
asparagus, I guess, it just works very well with pork as well. Hey? It's not really a trend or anything. It works really well.
I didn't know this. I'm learning things.
So I'm just going to give it a small little splash now. I'll give it another splash as it comes off the grill.
Okay.
So we could put those on the grill.
Oh, yummy. Just to give them a nice char, because the tips itself already are not too chewy. I mean,
That's
you just want to
correct.
kind of...
I mean, you could actually also just peel the tips as well, just to actually make sure it cooks quicker. You could blanch them, put them in boiling water for about 20 seconds, take them out and finish them off on the char grill.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, seeing as we do have some that's actually ready here, so all I'm going to
that's
do
what it
is,
should
that's
look
what it will
like.
look like when it's done, yes.
Okay.
So now we can start the plating.
This is the hard part, always. When it
when
comes to... I can always put something in the oven that I've prepared and spent time on, but it's that thing of actually having to cut it at the end that I get really upset about, because I'm always scared it flops and then all my hard work looks terrible.
That's where the creativity comes now. Cool. So you can actually just pass the
Cool.
porchetta
Pick
for
this
me,
up
so I
'cause
can
it's
actually just
still a bit hot, so I want to
slice it.
pick it up like this for
You
you.
just leave it here on the cutting board.
Oh, there we go.
Cool, so you can see how beautiful it looks. It smells delicious. I wish everyone could smell it back home.
I can describe it to you. All those flavors, basically everything we put in here, the garlic, the rosemary, the bacon in here, you can smell every little element that you've got. Even I can smell the aniseed.
That's correct, yes. The fennel. Fennel comes through
seeds.
very lovely. So all I'm going to do is just slice it and then plate it.
So you're cutting one piece of bacon per slice, is that how
Not
you do it?
necessarily, no. I'm just cutting it into thick chunks, so it just looks presentable once I plate it.
Ooh,
So
little
now comes the
medallions.
presentation, you know? So let's just...
He makes it look
Put
so
one
simple,
here.
always, the cutting side of
We can
things.
put... Oh, that's quite a big one. We'll put one here.
It's an art. Oh,
And we
man.
can put one sitting up like that here as well. I like working in threes and ones, threes, fives, and sevens when you plate it. So
looks
that's
delicious.
what it would look like when it's done, yes. And all I would actually do is, if I had a wonderful sauce, I'd make a nice little cider sauce, maybe with some honey, some cider, bring that down to the boil, and just drizzle around your place.
Delicious, man.
And
It's
that's what it looks
really,
like.
really simple to make. It looks super elaborate, but I promise you, this took us no time at all in the loft. So I hope you can cook along with us at some point. Find this recipe on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Make it and send us a few photos of once you have tried. You can also get the shopping list. So if you are going to the shops, just print out all the shopping lists of the recipes you like. Go get all the ingredients and then start day by day making the delicious treats we make on Afternoon Express. Now, thank you so much, Andy. It was really cool to cook with you today.
Anytime.
Earlier on, Bonnie was mentioning this idea of drinking too much sugar when it came to preparing drinks for children. Let's find out when exactly we can start feeding something like rooibos tea to our babies. Bonnie's in the garden.
Welcome to the Fresh Pack Natural Goodness series. When it comes to health and well-being, moms need the reassurance that they're making the right choices for their children. Fortunately, with the natural goodness of the Fresh Pack Junior and Baby range, you can rest assured you're making the best choice for everyday health. In understanding good nutritional plans for babies and toddlers, today we're getting some guidance on fluid intake for babies and chatting to Kath McGaw, mother, pediatric nutritionist, and author of the popular guidebook on baby nutrition, Feeding Sense, and her latest book, Real Food, Healthy, Happy Children. Welcome, Kath.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to have you with us.
Nice to be here.
What sparked the idea for the book?
I think after just lots of consultations with moms, I realized that there was so much information out there. Moms didn't know how to navigate through all this information. So it's really a manual that's user-friendly. It's really my story of how I journeyed with all my kids and feeding them. And I just wanted to present it in a way for moms that they could access it throughout different stages in their children's life.
What are the basic nutritional guidelines for babies under 6 months?
Well, obviously breast is best. So we want to push breastfeeding as much as possible, and preferably exclusive breastfeeding for the first 4 months or 17 weeks. And thereafter, the introduction of complementary fluids and complementary foods.
Kath, babies under 6 months are reliant on fluids as their primary source of nutrition. What mistakes do new moms make when it comes to hydrating?
I think they often forget that with the change in temperatures, babies sometimes need more fluid than what they actually are getting. And so definitely giving complementary fluids along with the breast milk is advisable, especially in hotter climates and during our summer months here in South Africa.
And why is it so important to keep baby hydrated?
Well, if you think our bodies are made up of essentially 60 to 70% fluid, and it's an important part of all the functions of our heart, our lungs, etc., etc. And so babies dehydrate also very much quicker than what an adult does. For their body surface area, they can lose water a lot quicker than what us as adults do.
Right.
And so within 24 hours, a baby can be dehydrated.
Wow. And at what stage can fluids other than breast milk be introduced into baby's diet?
I would recommend that from about 17 weeks that a mom starts introducing water or fresh rooibos tea.
And what kind of fluids are most recommended?
Breast milk being your primary fluid. If you're not able to breastfeed, then formula milk, and then pure clean water, which you can pre-boil if your baby's under 6 months, or you can use something like rooibos tea, which is a really nice fluid to use.
We all love rooibos tea, but what are the
Absolutely.
benefits of giving baby rooibos?
Well, it's caffeine-free, and it's also free of tannins, and it's very high in antioxidants, which is really something, a fancy word for saying it fights all those free radicals and bugs that are generated by our environment in which we live.
What kind of fluids should be avoided?
Anything sugary. So I'm very anti-fruit juices and anything with added.
Express yourself.
Welcome back. Yes, it's time for Winner Home on Afternoon Express. We follow three very talented young designers as they transform three empty properties at the Valdevie estate into dream homes using finishes provided by Caesarstone and Plascon. And at the end of it all, you guys get a chance to be entered into the grand prize where you could win one of those properties to the value of 3 million rand. Yesterday, we saw our design contestants meeting with their mentors to discuss plans for their bathrooms. They've been hard at work, and with only 2 days left to finish, let's head over to Valdevie to see how far they've come.
So I'm done. I don't know about the other guys. I heard they're a bit behind, but as you can see, everything looks perfect, and I'm loving it. I have a few final touches to look after and some cleaning to do, but I think let's just do the final touches. So these are beautiful marble holders for anything that you might need in the bathroom. Just the final two. Right here. I've always wanted to design a vanity like this, and Caesarstone made it possible. So I collaborated with Crib Creations for the vanity underneath it that's floating against the wall. I love the angles, the color, the base of it. It's amazing, and it brings the whole space together.
Final day for the bathrooms, and I'm nowhere where I thought I'd be. Like, if you asked me last week if I'd be here, I wouldn't have said I'd be at this stage. Right now, I still need to get my mirrors on. The shower I'm standing on is not tiled yet, so that's like one of my biggest worries. And I've had to make a few sacrifices with my design. Like the screen that's coming in here is no longer going to be the one that I had designed initially because of time.
While Minentle still seems relatively calm about the situation, his mentor, Belle Bellingham, who paid a surprise visit, is less impressed.
This is not where I thought it was going to be at this stage. I thought I was coming in for final touches. Yeah, I am shocked. I am really shocked. What is the big holdup? I mean, honestly, I was supposed to be at 10 to add in final touches, to add in, plants, all the final things, and it's now...
Like, my biggest worry from the beginning was the tiling, so I've been trying to push that to be done, but that's the thing that's been holding us back. Because even the bath can't go in because we still need to wait for the tiling to be finished.
Otherwise, so is the mosaic the problem?
Yeah, because even now we still need to wait for it to dry and clean it up and sort out there on top.
I can't waste my time driving through for nothing. I honestly can't.
Okay.
So where's through from here? I mean, what do we do now? We're going to miss our deadline. We're just going to hope that the viewers love you. Which I think they do, but I mean, no one's going to see what your vision was. You spent so much time planning this, painstakingly planning this, and no one's going to see it now. I am devastated. I honestly am. I'm worried, I'm concerned. I also feel bad. I feel bad for Minentle. To a degree, I feel that I thought he had it. I thought he had it in the bag. We went through everything. We made all the decisions, the stylistic decisions. We planned it, and I handed it over, and I thought it would happen. I really did. Maybe there's still hope. Maybe they can still pull us together in a few hours. I'm not optimistic, though, and again, I'm devastated. I'm devastated.
Our plan is to get the shower floors done as soon as possible, and then the tiling is done. That I'm happy about, because that means that my bath can then go in. And then with this, it's just a matter of waiting for the mosaics to dry out, and I'm going to be having my glass go on, and my vanity and the steel stand are ready. It's just a matter of putting it in. To be honest, at the moment, I'm not sure if I'm going to be done on time, so it's very worrying. I must be honest about that.
While Rudolph isn't much further ahead than Minentle, his bath and shower have been fitted and he's outsourcing the finishing touches.
Wow, wow, wow. Only 2 days left, gents, and Lady Minentle better pick up his game in this competition if he's hoping to obviously win this competition. Now, this afternoon we are once again having a private property chat where we focus on a beautiful property and its surroundings as well. So, as well as going to be focusing today on specific rooms in it, today being the bathroom. So with us to do this chat and to join us in the loft today is franchisee and principal of RealNet Durbanville, Cape Town, Christine Appel. Welcome to our loft.
Thank you. Lovely being here. Thank you.
I always ask all of our guests involved in property, could you take our loft and sell it for millions?
Yes, give it to me. I'll be glad.
Fantastic. Christine, it's so good to have you with us in the loft. And I've been so looking forward to having these conversations because there are, I think, a lot of stresses that come with buying new properties. And private properties got amazing, amazing places to find for a new neighborhood in people's lives. So which one are we looking at today?
We are looking at the Welgevonden estate in Durbanville. It is I would say, a medium-sized estate, 168 properties, with more than 4 hectares of parks inside the estate. So It's a lifestyle estate, it's manned security, and it's very good value for money, and that's what makes it so attractive. That's a place where children still play in the streets, get there on a summer evening, 7:30, the streets are alive. Mummy don't have to worry about little one going to a friend a couple of houses away, it's safe.
Yeah.
Also, it's beautiful, beautiful views, outside living. The owners there are very proud of their estate. And then also about the future, planned developments in the area. A lot of emphasis placed on education. What is planned for the near future is a primary school. Shortly after that will follow a secondary school. And what very few people know about at this stage is that there is a university being planned, and all within a 5-kilometre range of the estate.
Wow, so it is investment time. People better start getting their assets liquidated to get ready for this. But which property specifically are we looking at in Welgevonden?
We are looking at a property which is quite large, a 520 square metre property. And it is in a very, very prime position in the estate. It borders on
it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It borders right on the park of the estate with unlimited views of the Boland Mountains.
Sure.
So it is absolutely prime, prime, prime. And as it looks from the outside, so it is on the inside, a huge emphasis on design and on quality of finishes.
Okay, so let's talk through some of those, because I've seen that they've got an incredible kitchen and a cellar.
Yes. The kitchen, let's start with the kitchen. Very well equipped. I think it's any woman's dream. It's part of an whole open plan setup with dining room, living room, adjacent enclosed braai patio. Just for the cook of the house, there is induction cooking and gas cooking, and there are 3 ovens, of which one is a steam oven.
Oh, it's my dream. It's an absolute dream.
Yes, isn't it? Isn't it? And then just adjacent to that, which is actually part of the kitchen, is the scullery, which offers a walk-in cool room. As one client who I had through the house asked me, where is she going to put her double fridge? And I said, but you don't need it. Why would you need it? And so it's absolutely, the extras are there that you normally won't find in a house. Also, there's this beautiful little wine cellar. And from the cellar, if you really want to cool it, the cellar is cool enough, but if you really want to have cold wine, you take it to the cooler room.
The cooler room. That is so nifty and handy.
It is absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. Yes.
So our contestants are currently working on their bathrooms. Well, 2 of them are working on them. The other one hasn't finished quite just yet. But they're very important rooms in the house. The bathroom in this property is beautiful too.
Yes, the bathroom is... actually, I'm talking now of the ensuite bathroom of the main bedroom. The whole main bedroom setup is a suite comprising of the study, the main bedroom, a huge dressing room, and then this wonderful, beautiful bathroom.
Sure.
It's a spacious bathroom. There's a travertine theme in this bathroom.
Okay.
Yes, everything travertine, from the floor to the ceiling. Sure. Spa bath. There's the toilet with a bidet, and then you've got double vanities and a large shower and underfloor heating. And electrical towel rails.
Wow, so it's designed beautifully. It's gone into all the little details and just taken into consideration who would be inside that bathroom, making it a space that is welcoming, that is friendly, that is warm, at the same time is also homely, which I think is great inspiration for our design contestants.
And it's a lifestyle for the owners of the house.
Exactly. Let's talk a bit about the area, because I'm very interested in the investment side of property, and the market seems to be doing all sorts of things in South Africa, and you mentioned this idea of safety within the estate, which does elevate the price slightly if it does, but maybe try and justify for us and explain to us what the property market is doing in a place like Durbanville, because, I mean, anybody who's looking to start to maybe invest in a property, whether it be for investment or for living in, wants to know that they are choosing something that is going to have a future plan, that is going to add value to their investment. So what is the property market doing there? Is it a viable place to buy property?
Yes, we find that all the time. After the drop in 2008 to 2010, it is as if the market has just taken off from where it has stopped. It didn't fall.
Sure.
It was as if there was never a standstill.
What's
it just
the reason?
moved on. Popularity. Sure. It's good value. People move there, people live there. It's a place where families can live. You have all the beautiful wine farms around, it's a lifestyle. You're part of the city, yet you're not in the city.
Yeah.
And what we find currently is demand exceeds supply.
Sure.
Good properties are not readily available, and when it comes on the market, it gets scratched up.
Yeah, very quickly.
So yes, it's a well-priced property gets sold, just like that. But then a property that is not well priced will still stay on the market.
Yeah, true.
But the current situation does push the price up.
Awesome. Christine, thank you so much for all your insights. I really appreciate it. I'm feeling inspired. This house sounds beautiful. It's going to get snapped up like this, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Remember that you guys can also head over to privateproperty.co.za and vote for your favorite design contestants' bathroom, the ones that have been complete. By casting your vote, you stand a chance of winning paint from Plascon to the value of 5,000 Rand. You'll also be automatically placed into the grand prize draw, where you could win one of those completed apartments at the Valdevie estate worth more than 3 million Rand. Winner Home is proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're discussing parenting today, and today we asked, how has a nanny affected you and your family's lives? Were you raised by a nanny? And, well, we've got a whole lot of people who wrote in on Facebook and tweeted us and all the rest. And someone said to us, having a nanny in my childhood was a nightmare. Both of my parents are doctors, so they usually came home late. My nanny abused me physically and emotionally to a point where I lost my self-esteem and my school marks started dropping. My dad came to my rescue one day when he came early and found the nanny beating me with a stick. Sure. Now I'm 20 and I've made a vow that my kids will never have a nanny in their lives. Sure. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Just reminds me so much of that that video that was going viral on some sort of Facebook account with that the parents had put the cameras in the home and that's
no, nanny cams.
Yeah, and the nanny was beating like an infant.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
But that happens a lot, and I'm actually quite shocked at how much it happens, because surely if you're going to be a caregiver to children, you should be genetically programmed to love children.
Yeah. And what are some of the tools that you equip parents with in terms of making the right choice?
You know, I think what's quite useful is word of mouth stuff. So asking people who they know, also sometimes going through an agency where people have actually been vetted and have been screened can be useful. Obviously, you can't account for absolutely everything, and terrible things do happen, but those are some of the things. And also to have some experience with the nanny that you're going to hire. So be around when, you know, often if you're about to go back to work, it's a good idea to actually, before you go back to work, to spend some time at home with the nanny, so you go out for a little bit, come back a bit, and see how your child is reacting.
Shouldn't also parents get to know their children, speak to your children, understand who they are, and if they're acting funny, ask why, and really engage with them in that circumstance, because you will notice a difference in their personalities as they move forward.
So, I mean, I think absolutely with older kids, you want to be able to communicate and to speak to them. I think these sorts of things start happening with the little kids, and that's where you do have to try and look at behavioural things and see how they're reacting when you come home. But
well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. You're certainly going to make me a better parent to my adopted child. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful. To look at Manners dish.
I will. And I would like to see your best lunchbox ideas as well.
Can I see your plates, ladies, if you don't mind? I'll add this to your lunchboxes for tonight.
And you will be back again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Good night and happy eating. Ciao. This looks amazing.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, celebrity dentist Dr. Smile joins us in the Loft. We chat to exceptional woman Matsi Modise, and we check out a unique pop-up art shop in Joburg.
The hottest address on TV is Winner Home on Afternoon Express. Proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank.
Nada Feel Good Production.
Hello, my name is Hidie. I'm 30 years old and I'm from Namibia. Currently, I'm a maintenance planner in the Assets and Operations Department of BP Southern Africa. The hardest thing for me perhaps has been developing a career in a male-dominated environment. My hope for the future in terms of my professional life is to continue excelling in the field of engineering. Personally, I look forward to having a family in the future. My biggest fear perhaps is that I have no fears. Something you might not know about me is I'm currently training for my first half marathon, and I also enjoy knitting. My message to Africans is to continue to allow our warmth and friendliness to shine for the rest of the world to see.
My name is Rafael. I'm coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. I'm 29 years old. 10 years ago, I started my own tailoring business. I started in my father's shadow, but it really have become like passion for me. I've started very small, and over the years, I've grown it. I moved to the capital city, and then I had to work like long hours to like kind of introduce myself in the city. The last few years, I got married. I've got a kid now and a beautiful wife. My goals are, I want to take like this tailoring passion of mine to the next level. My biggest fear is I don't want to forget that the power comes from the Almighty. I think my advice to the world is like you must always find your inner talent and fear God, and then be humble in whatever small things that you're doing, and then just have a hope that one day it's going to become bigger.